Today we're reviewing
Pups save the Easter egg hunt.
We can help. We're going to color and hide the eggs.
You know, I miss when just randomly helping out in your community and having fun doing it counted as a rescue. It's a little janky, but I really like how they were exploring their tools to figure out making the show look cartoony.
Gummy Bunny!
Early on, they were just happily giving the pups fun activities dogs would actually enjoy. We need a bit more of that.
Wet dog! Wet dog? Ew! Sorry, dude.
This also has a dynamic that's long gone now, but felt very natural and more like actual kids than today's little automatons. They can do things that are a little gross or a little inconsiderate of one another, but in good fun, like young boys do. The spirit of banter has largely vanished from PAW Patrol, and that's a shame.
Oh, you scared me. Sorry. I guess I was overly excited. Womp womp.
See? It's this. So cute and so characterful. We don't get this sort of gentle ribbing anymore between pups, and we should.
Excellent egg spotting, Sky.
Rocky's so cute. And, please note, every little pun doesn't need to be marked with a brumtsh and everyone laughing. They're actually more pleasant just slipping by like this.
Hey, you're not an egg.
This sweet, gentle vibe is what's most missed from early seasons. The pace is slow and there's time for this sort of scene, and for Rocky to sniff and to giggle without the need for a robot to cause chaos or things to roll down hills. Man, the wrong parts of the formula got kept. Dispatches and rescues might glue Tot's eyes to screens, but comfy, gentle, light-hearted scenes are what made the show actually good.
Call the PAW Patrol!
Mayor Goodway, right here.
Oh,
Well, that's actually very funny and well executed. Neatly performed and timed for the comic beats.
Excuse me, Miss Eagle?
Aw, Rocky's just such a cute, sweet, polite boy. I don't understand how he wasn't the breakout star of Season 1. I guess job roles really matter to Tots on a fundamental level.
Ew!
Random scritches. The pups should still get random scritches. Why don't they?
Let's try that again.
Aw, all Sky's voice actors have been great, but Cal and Holly had such a sweet laugh and such a perfect mix of childish and mature sounding qualities to her voice.
poor Chicoletta's heart will be broken.
While I think it could be classed as an animation error, just slowly drifting between two keyframes, there's something really funny about Mayor Goodway's mouth slowly dropping, like she's having an existential crisis. The sprained arm is the first fairly serious injury in the show, too. Wonder who fitted the sling. There's a lot of charm to this unpolished slapstick. It doesn't feel like there's time for this sort of thing on the show anymore, but there should be. They just need to be willing to point the camera at the pups long enough for it to happen, instead of Humdinger or Digi and Tal doing this kind of stuff.
Aw, what sweet little cute teeny weeny bunny bunnies.
I'll never complain about some out-and-out, sickly sweet cuteness.
Excuse me, you have some worm hanging from your beak? Oh, for me?
While the episode actually starts to really drag around here, this is such a good character moment. The shots held and actor and animator can both show a performance. The polite boy realizing what's going on and not wanting to offend. A rich comic scene. I know I say it too much looking at these early episodes, but we don't get this character focus anymore. And we should.
Look at that baby eagle. How cute.
I mean, sure, that could be how things work in their universe. Just like the Lookout's telescope can have these insane optics to see this.
Rocky, you look way okay, dude. Yeah!
More of these expressions of friendship, please. For whatever reason, these two barely get to even make eye contact anymore. And that sucks.
You're all good, pups. And we saved the day.
That's nice, huh? A simple act of generosity. Very cute. And admirable, too.
There you go.
Let no one tell you death is not a thing in Paw Patrol world. I'm a little bit loath to say it, since to have a song at all is always a plus point, but this song kinda sucks. It's so flimsy and forgettable.
It's an eagle.
Hi, Eagle!
The whole writer's room hadn't gotten coordinated on Sky's feelings about eagles yet. Worth remembering, at this point, Sullivan was just another writer, not the story editor. Maybe a red flag in retrospect.
Follow the carrots, little bunnies!
Rubble, this is outright inhumane. Just put the carrot on the seat next to you and let them ride with you. What the heck?
Yeah, no, Marshall. Easter eggs are usually hard-boiled.
Oh.
While it does make for very cute faces and reaffirms Marshall's character, I don't think this little comic bit really works. Marshall filling baskets of eggs and carrying them without Ryder helping him, and no claw arm in those days, isn't very likely. And this is the sort of thing he should really apologize to the others for.
Okay, every puppy.
Aw man, why didn't every puppy stick? That's cute. Maybe it felt like a bit of a hangover from every pony and they wanted to avoid that. Not worth overthinking, but it was cute.
That eagle took our basket. And candy. And the eggs we decorated.
Very weird moment. Chase pauses in a very strange way, and none of them mention that, their friend was taken and is in mortal peril here, until finally Ryder does several lines later.
Just shake your tail and hop, hop, hop.
Fans will sometimes point to Pups walking on hind legs and say it's forgetting Zuma showing it as his party trick when trick-or-treating. But they were capable of this pretty incredible feat way back in Season 1. Also, there's some fandom weirdness about that shaking tail moment. I'd rather that didn't exist, and they could have done a more twitchy, bunny-like tail shake, to be honest. Wow. Chase looks like Marshall just tore up his first edition Charizard card or something. Calm down, Chase.
Uh-oh. Troubles with treats?
This is just kind of a weird thing for Rubble to say. It sounds forced in, like an episode title drop or something needed for a promo. Or, like Trouble with Turtles a few episodes later, a kind of stretch to sound like that one Star Trek episode every boomer cartoon writer has to try to reference for some reason.
Zuma, we'll need your help to color eggs too. Marshall?
Man, it would almost be better to be missed out than to be skipped over so fast. It sounds like Ryder can't think of any actual way you'd be helpful here.
And Chase.
That's so cute. But unfortunately it does set the precedent that pups are sad when they're the only one not picked. Which of course ends up happening a whole lot without them having a chance to look sad and whine.
All pups on deck.
Even before it was established as a thing, all pups on deck just sounds weird when the saying is all hands on deck. The hands are obviously metonymic, a synecdoche indicating men, sailors. So it's not like this is wrong, but all paws is just such an obvious and cute joke that it's kinda jarring to hear it not used. Early on, Sky would follow along the road like a video game helicopter vehicle in an old 2D sprite-based game. It's very silly to see, but kinda cute too. Also, you guys are going to paint eggs. You probably don't need your sirens on. Don't you know that in 7 or 8 years, people are going to wail and gnash their teeth about this being abuse of power and thus propaganda? is cute, but I'd much rather they block the shot to make this look accidental. Somehow Rocky can just shake this off, but it doesn't look like it'll be that way, so Marshall seems a bit of a jerk at first, and Sky's joke after this seems insensitive. Also, it barely makes sense for Sky and Zuma to be painting eggs at all if Marshall can do it at this speed.
That's one big egg.
I mean, Mayor Goodway, sure, but I feel like even Season 1 writers should have questioned where Alex got this enormous egg. Also, that's way too big for an eagle. More like an ostrich.
We're really high. Cool.
Allowances can be made since things aren't super fixed in the very first season, but this seems very out of character for Rocky, and is more how Alex would act.
And bumpy. Cool and bumpy.
Very cute, and actually that moment was a season highlight for animation quality, but yeah, Rocky's typically sharper than this.
When you find things like eggs out in nature, it's usually best to leave them alone.
Sorry.
Man, I like them actually teaching Alex and him regretting his actions. In later seasons, they seem to just revel in letting him be a force of unmitigated chaos. That said, I feel like Owen Mason was suppressing his Canadian accent there. You don't need to do that.
As soon as we get these eggs out of here.
He certainly didn't do it there. Also, I guess Rubble laid some new eggs to replace the ones he broke during the song.
One there. Ha! It's talking back.
While this is cute and I love all this Rocky time, and I do keep reiterating how it's a good thing they used to take their time, keeping the pace slow to let characters shine, I gotta say this episode starts to really drag around here. It's become a very standard rescue from a high place with an eagle around, and the Easter link has become tenuous. Only on our third full episode length script, things have started to feel padded out.
There's no way around these rocks.
Yep. Definitely padding things out.
This pup's gotta fly.
Wait, she was assigned to look after the bunnies. You can't leave them with Alex and the mayor. Vote of no confidence. Or, alternately, what was even the point of establishing she was going to stay back with them, if you were just going to ignore that a few scenes later? It already felt like a contrived way to get Sky out of the picture so the rescue wasn't too easy. But it turns out she was going to join it anyway.
Yay! I'm on my way, Rocky.
Much as I like Marshall in action and barking, if time's of the essence, just get Sky to lift them down. Yes, many times I have bemoaned Sky being used where Marshall would have suited the rescue better. But here, it's genuinely the better fit. She lifts it down later anyway, just once Marshall and Chicoletta are out of it, but that's not exactly necessary. I got a whole lot of requests to look at Pups Save the Easter Egg Hunt when I reviewed Pups Save a Magic Trick yesterday on Easter Sunday, so I'm here reviewing this on Easter Monday. And while it's a classic from the glory days with many of the intrinsic plus points that come with that, I think this is the clear weakest of the early holiday-themed full-length episodes. The egg hunt is very peripheral to a story mostly about being stuck in a high place, and honestly, the episode is flabby and gets pretty dull by the end. On the other hand, a great number of very cute pup moments happen, and Rocky really gets to show personality here. Overall, 8 out of 10. There are enough really strong scenes and examples of how PAW should be to get a high score, but it's not up in the S tier. Alright, check out my review of Pups Save a Magic Trick here, or check out the video I re-uploaded to my animation channel here. That's all for today though, and I'll see you guys again next time.